Hello, friends. This is April here, April Hoy, and I am a sewing shop operator, theater costumer, needle and stitch witch, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I wanted to share with you a system that I have been using to kind of keep track of my own business for a long time, and I have created it as a template for you all to use as well. And it's called Sewing Shop OS Dashboard. It is available in the free version of Notion. You can see right now I have it opened in my Safari app, which you can run it from your app or your browser, or you can download the app to your system as well. We're going to do this demo in the browser today rather than in the app because I actually have my app is building something right now and I want to let it do its thing over there without interruption. So I find that the AI portion of Notion has less difficulty if I'm not overtaxing it by running multiple things in it at a time. So while it's building something for me, I'm going to use it over here in the browser version. So I've given you a start here area, which is just like a little introduction. It gives you some ideas about how to use it. Once you've mastered this system, you can go up here into these little dots and you can click delete and it will delete those things. I'm gonna bring that back though for now, but I just wanted to show you that anything that's on these pages, you can delete them and make them go away when you don't need them anymore. So here is Sewing Shop OS. It's a lightweight, free plan friendly workspace for sewing freelancers, embroidery, alterations, and tailoring shops. I would also say costume shops as well. Although I do have a theater version of this that is probably more useful for costume shops, and I'll do a video on that as well. But the way this works is too simple for words. It's really set up on these separate databases. And then I have created some quick action buttons to give you the easy ability to just, at the click of a button, literally create a new client page, which goes right into the client database, or create a new invoice, which goes right into invoices and payments, or a new estimate, which goes right into the estimates database. And all of these databases are connected to the client themselves, which makes it really nice. This due this week projects view here is anything in this projects area that has a due date that is during this current week. You can see where we are right now, November 17th. This is due tomorrow. And so it's showing you what's due for the week. I will also show you this quick everyday to-do list. Every shop has a set of rituals, if you will, things that you do every day to keep your shop clean, organized, or just smoothly running. I used to work in a little embroidery shop, and every morning before we could run any of the machines, we had to clean and oil them first. And so I just popped that one in here as an example. You can see these little check boxes. When you click in the checkbox, it makes the task disappear, but then the next day you can just hit the reset button and it brings them all right back. So you can put as many of these daily recurring tasks in here as you want. You can create new ones for yourself. You know, I don't know, evening sweep. trash out whatever the things may be. And then again, you just click them off, they disappear, and then you reset it for the next day, right? All right, so let's go into these databases and I'll show you how these operate. So here's our client database. I've got some clients in here already, and you can set their status as whatever. In that status area, you can actually go in there and you can change those options. So like if you don't like that it says lead, active, archived, and you want to put something else in there, you can put something else in there. You can put things in there like PIA. For anyone who knows, PIA is your pain in the ass client. You can put things like that in there if you want to. Just gives you, all of these things are customizable. So when you open the client window, this is what you're going to see. And you can put their name here, and then you just fill in all of their information about them. Now, this is also connected to invoices and estimates, and so that it looks like these are just these kind of random things, but this is actual estimate that is in the estimates database. There's that same estimate with that test client. So it's an interconnected system, which allows you to really keep track of where you are with your client. It's a complete customer service management system. You can keep your invoices and payments, keep track of all of the projects that you're going to be doing for that client. And it does look in here like this is really embroidery specific. And that's just because when you're doing embroidery jobs, there's a lot of information that's needed. Whereas when you're just doing alterations, all you need to do is put in a type, and then you can type in a comment here where it says the work that you're actually going to be doing, hem 2 pairs of jeans. You might also have take in blue dress at the side seams as pinned, right? So these are the items that we're going to be doing for them. You can also add it as a property rather than a comment. So you could put in a text property here, and you can move that text property underneath that service type, and instead of having that as a comment, you can place it here in the text. I'm just doing copy and paste right now. Put a little space there. So then it's right there in the text. This is the work that we're going to be doing for them. Sometimes while comments and these things can kind of feel like drudgery a little bit, because a list of comments can become quite lengthy. thing I like about using comments instead of text in this regard is that if you have set this up with a client portal, so like a window that allows your customer to see where you are in the work that you've done for them. Like let's say we're gonna go ahead and delete those two comments. If you had it set up as a client portal, which is a kind of a separate thing that I also will have an offering for. But if you do, whenever you make a comment here, you can say both pairs of jeans are completed, still working on the blue dress. Whenever you put that comment in there, if your client is connected to a client portal, they would see this comment. It would send a little email nudge to them to let them know that there is an update to their status, and then they would see where you are in the work that you're doing for them. So those kinds of things are pretty nifty in regard to running your whole business, right? Sometimes as a sewing shop, you might have items that you purchase and resell. And I just put these key fobs in here as a finished good example. But you might also sell things like, what would you sell? You might sell, let's say, glow in the dark thread, right? That might be something that you keep in stock on hand for customers, and you want to say that there's a low stock order. There's a formula in here. Right now you have 3 on hand. Let's say your reorder point is 5. 5. And you see how it automatically checked that? Let's say if I change this to 7, it unchecked it. But if I change it back to 3, it rechecks it. So that's your stock delta. You're -2 on your reorder point. So it's alerting you that you need to reorder that. And then, so that's a supply. This would be information on like when you order it, a unit is going to be, let's say it comes in a case of 6. So you get 6 spool. Oh, hey. Oh, okay. So it's a spool. A unit is a spool, and let's say your unit cost is $1.37 because you bought it in a case of 6, right? And so that lets you know that's what you paid for it, and so whatever you charge above that is going to be your profit. And so that's a way that you can keep track of things that you keep in stock in your store. So then to get back there, you're going to just click up here on the sewing shop dashboard. This is where you would keep track of your suppliers and what they provide you with. So this supplier might provide you with, say, buttons and zippers. And maybe you're going to have another supplier, we'll say new supplier 2, and that supplier supplies you with fabric and thread, right? And obviously when you open this, you can put their email, their phone, I would put what they supply you with right there underneath that account button. So we're in new supplier. I just moved that. If I open new supplier 2, you can see anything I did in new supplier 1 is now there in new supplier 2 as well. And any new pages that are provided have that same format. And you can put an embed in here. I like to do this. You do /embed, and it allows you to embed anything. So like you might have a link to that, let's say this client or this supplier supplies you with a very specific fabric that you like, and you can embed here the link to that fabric that you like, or you can embed a photo of that particular fabric that they have, and you can create as many of those as you like. So you can just say embed, and then you have multiple areas to embed. One of these things in this multi-select, I want to edit this property because it only has button zippers, fabrics, and thread, but I might want things like interfacing. I might want things like water soluble stabilizer. This is embroidery stuff. I might want things like ribbons, 1/4 inch. Like you can put very specific things in there that you want, right? And you can change the color, you know, so that, you know, everything has a different color or whatever. You can, right now it's on manual sort, but you can tell it alphabetical sort. So it'll sort it by alphabet. And so these are the many ways that you can customize your pages within your database. You can add additional properties, like what would I add here? I think supplier status is already in. Maybe it isn't. So maybe I want to put a supplier status in there. And maybe this is a current supplier. And maybe we want to add an old supplier items still in use. So like things that you're still using, but you want to hold on to that supplier even though you haven't ordered anything from them in 2 years, right? You might want to say, let's say you did business with a supplier in the past and they provided you with very bad service and you didn't get the supplies that you were hoping for and they didn't do anything to rectify the problem. You don't ever want to do business with them again. You can specify that in here. We'll say archived, never again, right? And you might just have an archived just because you don't use them anymore, not for anything bad. They're just old, right? You ordered one item from them and you're never going to order that item again, or whatever it is. But there's all kinds of ways that you can customize them. Again, you can color code these. This is a current one. I might say green on that one. You know, this one is old supplier, still in use. I might put them in an orange category. This one I would put in red because I don't ever want to do that again. And, maybe I'll put this one in blue or purple just because it makes things interesting. And so these are the many ways that you can, connect. Now, one of the nice things about this too is that you can connect this supplier of buttons and zippers to a project. And you can say for test project 2, you can put in here, maybe in the text, need to order buttons for the blue dress, right? And so here's the supplier, and that would take me to that supplier. And if all their information is plugged in here, then I can go right to their website and order, or I can call them and order, or email them and order, however you order from that particular supplier. And so it keeps things super easy to do. And then if I go back in here, and if I go back to the projects board, I'm probably not going to see the supply. Oh yeah, I am going to see the supplier because this is in the table that shows everything, right? But there's different views in projects here now. So like if there's a rush job, right? So now you can see that this is a rush job. Today is the 17th. This needs to be done tomorrow. Let's go. And so there's a million different ways you can even create. So here's one, due today, but it was actually due back on the 7th. So this tells you this is overdue. And there's multitudes of ways that you can create new views for projects. And these are the views that have been created for this one. And you can delete all these views as well. And you can create views based on these filters. So like this due today one is filtered by due date and these two rules, where the due date is on or before today, and the status is not completed or canceled. And so that's why that's showing in due today, because it's overdue, right? It's very much due today. So now I've given you a view of these things, and then these quick action buttons are really nice because it gives you just click a button and it pops up a new page, and you can say new happy faced client. And then you pop all of their information into these little areas. If you've already created an estimate for them, then you can go here and click that estimate. And that way, when you open the estimate, you can see the amount is $309.51. And this is for an actual, like an embroidery job, right? And that's what that's for. So this is how all of the different things connect. This button creates a new sale item that goes here in resell items. This new project creates a new project in the projects database, new estimate button in the estimates database, new invoice in the invoices and payments database, and a new work order. Actually, I don't even know where that goes to. Let's look. Add page to work orders, but we don't actually have the work orders database here. So that's something that I'm going to need to fix. Because where is that? Where is that work orders? Okay, it's been moved. That's why it's in a spot where it's not supposed to be. Interesting. It might put it in projects. Let's see. Let's do a new work order. It'll connect to the project. So then we can go to, we'll just do it on regular test project. It's going to be due in 2 days. You can assign it to yourself, or if you have other people on your team, they will be in here in your team space, and you can assign it to other workers. And then this is a status. We might be in not started yet. But then when we go here to projects, I'm not really sure where that work order is going to. So I will fix that. So by the time this is available to you, there will be an item here in the sewing shop databases that says work order. Okay? So that we don't have things that we create here that we can't access over here, because we don't ever want that to be a thing. But that's really the simplicity of it all. It allows you to run your entire business and keep track of everything. And in a one-stop shop area, and you can customize it as much as you want to. So you can add new buttons here. You can so that these quick buttons that give you like just a quick way to do things every single day, and it allows you to keep track of all of your information for your entire business, from your clients to suppliers to items that you sell, all of your projects that are due, estimates and invoices. And then there's the embroidery job costing calculator. I'm not sure if I went over this. If I didn't, I'm going to go over it again. These are the instructions, which again, once you've mastered how to use it, you can delete those areas if you want to. Here is a version of how this thing works. Pretty sure I went through this, but it's 25 items that you're embroidering with 3 color changes. The stitch count is 7,500. Your rate per 1,000 stitches is $1.25, which calculates out that times this times this and this, and which gives you the final price. There's also a formula in here that calculates your estimated cost of materials. And if you decide to use specialty threads, you'll click this box. If you decide to add a rush job, it'll add that to the final dollar amount. You can see that final price will change if I unclick that. So you'll see that seems like a huge jump, right? So from $309.50 with a $5 surcharge up to $434, that's $5 times 25 items, right? Because it's a rush job. And you want to make sure that they know that they're paying a premium price for that rush job. You're not charging them an extra $5. You're charging them an extra $5 per item. So per hat or per shirt or whatever it is you're embroidering. And that's how you keep it real in the embroidery business. Because those customers will try to get you. They will. So anyway, that's your Sewing Shop embroidery dashboard. That's how to use it. And you can do fun things like when you switch from light to dark. In MacBook, this is how we do it. And then this is what your Sewing Shop dashboard looks like in dark mode, which I think is pretty nifty. And you can change any of these things. You can say, actually, you want to say color. You want to go to color, and you want to give it a background. I like purple backgrounds, right? Right now, the backgrounds are all kind of in gray. But you can change the colors of all these things, and you can customize this as much as you want, and it's one of the things that I love about Notion. So I hope that this is helpful for you, and I really, if you have any questions, drop me an email. Here it is, right there. You just click on that button, and it'll open that up in your mail client, and you can send me an email with any questions that you may have on how to use this or how to change things or how to add things. But there's a lot of videos on the YouTubes about how to use Notion if you've never used it before. But it's really so very simple, and this system is going to make your sewing shop run a lot smoother. So there you go. Have a great day, and I look forward to chatting with you at some point in the future. Take care, you guys. Bye.